Dude, I am loving this podcast. I didn't anticipate like it would feel so refreshing.
Yeah.
And immediately this became like our #1 video on the channel.
It's a hit.
Did you see that coming? I did not see that coming.
I'm going to say that I fucking called that shit, but you know, I actually just did call that shit. I'm going to put that out there.
What do you think it is?
Like you told me this, like I feel like they've been yearning for it. I feel like everything's too polished on YouTube and we're seeing kind of a correction in the other direction.
When I started my channel, some of those videos are actually I enjoy a lot more because it was just an honest dialogue.
Yeah.
Looking back on who I used to be in those videos, it did seem like someone was just having a chat with you.
Yeah.
And just sharing their thoughts.
Very direct.
Very direct.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden on YouTube, all this stuff started happening, which to me now it just feels like a bunch of bullshit to hide the fact that you don't actually have anything to say.
Yes.
But at the time, it was so fucking cool. It's like one time on YouTube, some fucking jerk off started telling us that he, would work deeply. And then he filmed himself typing at his computer, like racking his brain. And then everyone's like, whoa, this is so high quality.
Yeah.
Like, oh, showing that you're working while you're talking about working.
It's
typing. It was like such a big deal at the time. And so then everyone started doing this. It was like hyper edited videos.
And it became a crutch. And then the script became less necessary.
And I thought that's what I had to do because I thought I still had good information to say.
Yeah.
Like actually, I've always loved cinematography and all that. So I didn't mind involving that stuff into my videos.
Yes.
But it turned into this thing where if your video isn't hyper edited with a bunch of B-roll in it, then it's not high quality.
Yeah.
And as I dived more and more into that, and for a while it was working, I started to hate my own videos. Like it actually started to go, I would go for like weeks at a time without liking any of my own videos. I'd be like, this is so fucking annoying now.
Yeah.
And now with this podcast format, it's so refreshing because I'm like, dude, whatever. I'll just say whatever I want. We're just talking. Now we're just focusing on the words.
Yes.
And I feel excited to make these. Like I'm so excited to come into these episodes and make them.
And it's nice to like watch it back and be like, fuck, I would watch this. I would put this on to be entertained. You know?
And now it's getting to a point because now I'm actually starting to wrestle with these topics that I genuinely am interested in, but I wouldn't get into them because, well, honestly, we were trying to be advertiser friendly. Now we have to kind of figure out a new business model to keep this thing going because I feel like more and more sponsors are going to like
just back out.
Maybe just back off slightly.
Yeah.
We kind of have to drop these podcasts in enough.
We got to sneak them by.
But then still come across as mainstream enough for like Grammarly to sponsor us in the next video and all that. So on that note, before we continue, this video does have a few sponsors, a few of them, because we're changing up the business model.
Yeah.
This is so funny. There's like no talking points now. There's nothing to run by any of these partners anymore.
Nothing official.
Yeah, nothing's official.
Yeah. Nobody has to approve the video anymore, which is nice.
Yeah, no one's gonna approve a video anyway that's like turn your sexual energy into raw power.
Yes.
Like imagine trying to send that to a sponsor.
And listen, guys, if you're watching and we go broke because of this podcast, this is for you. So you better like and subscribe and buy the merch, do all that stuff. Because we're going broke. We have no money left.
Actually, we're not even running ads on this. Like, I'm not even going to turn on the monetization button because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, as soon as YouTube's just going to run its checks. They're just going to run its checks and be like, what the fuck is this?
What it do, what it does, where you been, where you was, what it ain't, what it is. Face in the mud, I really be hating in the mud. Said I can't pick it up, but I did. Y'all know Goon put too much bass in the sub. Cup full of blood and I gave it a chug. Wait till your neighbors get all snug, then play this real loud where you live.
So our first sponsor is Sunsama. So Sunsama is a calendar blocking time management app. It's also on mobile and desktop. What I really love about Sunsama is I can put down a list of things I'm trying to do that week. I kind of plan it every Sunday.
Yeah.
And I have items for every day. And then you can move those items really beautifully into different days of the week. And it also like tracks how much deep work you're adding onto your calendar. And it encourages you not to add more than 4 hours of deep work every day.
That's nice.
So it's like, it forces you to pare down and focus.
Yeah.
Also, if you have things like something comes up on your Google Calendar, you've got like a Calendly meeting with someone, it'll automatically populate on Sunsama.
Oh, nice.
So all my meetings will start showing up. It's actually just this beautiful interface.
Yeah.
And I use it every day. What's lovely about it is I just put a couple things. I have a couple items on my daily calendar. There's all this annoying shit I have to do in my life.
Yes.
Like change the air filters.
Yes.
You know, but in terms of stuff that actually matters, I only have a few things, and I track those important big stone items on this app. It's a really lovely design. $20 a month. Some people might think it's a little expensive, but for the increase in productivity I've gotten from it, which maybe I would say has increased my productivity and just an internal sense of what I've got to get done, probably by like 15%.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it for me.
Yes,
I mean, for me, that's
agree.
like...
That's big.
Yeah, it's big. Honestly, just check it out. There's a link to them in the description box. I think they give you a month to just play around with it.
Yeah, free trial.
And so you can see for yourself. It's really, really nice.
Nice.
Our second sponsor is Brain FM. So this is something I use when I'm doing deep work. It plays music that's really ambient and is conducive to focusing well. Like stuff that I would normally do when I'm trying to do deep work, which is, it's super important to do deep work every day.
Yes.
Is I would like listen to the Social Network soundtrack.
Yeah.
Nothing has helped me get shit done more than the Social Network soundtrack.
Yeah.
And a lot of Brain FM's playlists are like that. There's also playlists that like help you fall asleep and stuff like that, but I never use it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just use it for working. And so I just let it run in the background when I'm like reading a book or writing the next script. Honestly, even blasting through emails. Our third sponsor, now this is really exciting.
Whoa.
Is an app that I'm launching. I'm sponsoring myself, people.
Hell yeah.
It's an app called Transmuted. It's very relevant to the topic of today's video, but it's a habit tracker.
Yep.
Specifically for Nofap or sexual transmutation. I know it's kind of a funny product to launch.
Yes.
Is like, oh, you're launching a Nofap app? Okay, it actually is pretty freaking dope. You can log a counter that grows every day to see what your Nofap streak is like.
Yep.
If you hit the relapse button, there's like a reset button on the bottom, then you have to give a reason as to why you relapsed. Things like you didn't meditate, drugs and alcohol, lack of human connection, lack of sleep. So you have to log that. And so you can like keep track of your whatever total relapses over the course of a year and see what aspects of your life you need to work on, because relapses for me with either with pornography or with masturbation, it comes from like just not being on top of your shit.
Yeah.
And so this app, which me and my developer worked together on, we like really thought through like what I would want in it. So it's really cheap. It's in the App Store. By the time this podcast episode goes up, it would have only gone up on Google Play in the App Store. Hey, so these are our sponsors. The links to all of them are in the description box. I'm really excited about all of them. I use all of them. The third one is my own product. And that's the thing, dude. Now that we've got this podcast going, we're going to have to start focusing on our own shit to promote. We can't just always rely on these sponsors. And it's kind of great because now we're back in full control.
Yes. Gotta get the business right.
Yeah. So with the housekeeping out of the way, let's get into today's episode.
Yes.
Episode 3 of the Becoming the Killer podcast. Turning sexual energy into raw power.
Hell yeah.
How do you feel about that title? I feel like it's pretty cute.
I feel like it goes pretty hard. You know, I think people will see this and be like, well, I want to do that.
Yeah. Dude, I want raw power.
Yeah. Sounds pretty sweet.
What has been your experience with Nofap? When did you first learn about it? What is your relationship with pornography throughout your life? Have you noticed any benefits? Do you think it's a hoax?
Let's start. I first noticed came across Nofap, I think when I was like 17 or 18.
Okay.
And I think it was through Gold Jacket Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And so I like watched a bunch of his videos, and I was like, me and my friends would talk about how like porn is like a negative. Those like TED Talks about porn were like going huge at the time.
They were just starting to go up.
Yeah.
Gary Wilson.
Yeah. So like we'd seen those. We knew like porn was fucking up our brains. And so we as me and my high school friends would be like, yeah, I'm trying to like stop doing this. But we all knew we had problems though. We were like very much struggling. And
dude, my high school friends would talk about their favorite porn stars and how awesome
we
they
would
are.
do that too. Like that was not, this was like me and one of my friends would be like, we're trying to quit.
Yeah.
And then everybody else would be like, just going hard of like, who's your favorite? I'm like, this is a private endeavor, sir.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't want to share this with you.
Yeah. This is shameful.
Yeah, it's shameful.
Please.
This is my own experience. I'm the only one who watches this porn star.
Yes,
no one else.
exactly.
She's mine.
She's mine. But yeah, so then I think I just struggled with like porn. I mean, I feel like I started watching porn when I was like 12 or 13. And then I don't think I really ever stopped. I think I'd have periods where I was good after high school, but I think I struggled through college. And then I think when I was around 21, 22 is when I like just was done and I stopped and I managed to quit completely. And then Nofap, like just, so like porn I think is like to me, the most beneficial thing about Nofap is the idea that like porn is really bad for your brain. And I think getting off of porn, even if you like don't stop masturbating entirely, is like the most important needle moving thing. I think that just like rushes and floods your brain with like the dopamine. And I think it just creates all these negative perceptions about women. There's like a lot of science about it, you know?
Dude, I know everything you're saying just makes complete sense.
Yeah.
But I just disagree.
Okay.
You know, like, it does make sense. Like, porn is bad.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just my Indian upbringing and the fact that I'm just naturally annoyingly superstitious about shit.
Yeah.
I feel like the retention is like the highest tier benefit.
Yeah.
And I think I'd be in a superior place if you find yourself watching porn. Like, obviously that's very bad. Yeah. But like, if you manage to keep a streak going, that is maybe like that's this net positive in that. I just find, dude, I don't know why. It's weird. There's not a sufficient amount of science to back it up.
Yeah.
But I feel like the streak, retaining your semen, man.
I think that's like a hugely positive thing.
Yeah.
But I think if like people are just trying to like shake off one and they can't do both.
It's definitely more scientifically backed.
Yeah.
To get rid of porn in your life.
Yes.
And also like, I guess, not busting. It's not, I mean, at some point you will bust. So don't get caught up in that. Like even those of us with long streaks, like is your goal really to go your whole life without
that'd be silly. And I think even like you have like expressed this to me. Yeah. I feel like in many ways, like the goal of Nofap is to like, help you get more women and like, sleep with them and, bust right at the end of it. Maybe not through your own doings.
I don't know if it's the goal, but it definitely is a fun thing that, I don't know. Somehow it becomes easier to attract women when you're not busting. Yeah. But we'll get into all of that. So you tried it when you were, how old? 18?
Yeah, like 17 or 18.
And what started happening? So not only did you drop the porn, but for a while you tried to get on streaks.
Yes.
What kind of streaks were you getting on?
God, in like high school, college, oh man, there were periods in high school where like I remember telling my high school friends where I was like, damn, I haven't jerked off in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And their eyes just went wide.
That is a crazy number back then.
Yeah. And I would just be like, I just like, I don't, and now when I like, and then I'd like bust and it would be like, a volcanic eruption. And then I'd be like, oh, but I just remember like, God, I did feel like I was like in a very creative space when I would be on like long streaks. I like wasn't really attractive to women back then. So like nothing was going for me in that regard, but I feel like that was when I really started to get my life together. And I noticed when like I'd be off my streak, I just felt like almost creatively impotent in many ways.
Dude, I found porn when I was 11.
Yeah.
It was because my dad's a fucking legend, but like he gave me a personal PC in my bedroom when I was like 9.
Yeah.
Just because he wanted me to like start learning. I would like take these like educational computer games, like Jumpstart. And one day I was watching a Simpsons episode, and the fat guy in the Simpsons, the collector with the ponytail? He's like bald with the ponytail. Yeah. He was starting to load this page of a woman in a bikini, and it was loading very slowly. Yeah. And 10-year-old Nikhil, 11-year-old Nikhil, it like occurred to me, I'm like, oh, I could maybe see this girl in a bikini.
Yes.
If I wanted to. I don't know why I want to, but I kind of do.
Yeah.
So I made a really gangster move. I typed in woman into Google Images.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
And the fourth image, like literally right away, was a girl who was naked with a sign that said "fuck me." And and I immediately turned it off. I was like, whoa! And then I was like, I need to see that again.
Yeah. I think I pulled the epic move of like typing like boobs into the search bar or something.
Oh, you knew what you wanted.
Yeah.
I just knew I wanted to see what would happen. I was respectful.
Yes. I think
I was a gentleman about it.
Even back then, I think just typing boobs into the search bar was just sheer curiosity. I was like, what will occur? You know?
And that's how it started.
Yeah.
And I would use like LimeWire to get access to videos.
I see.
Because you couldn't just get access to videos back then as easily.
Yeah. I think I came a little bit after you because I think when my friends put me on, I was like immediately just on Pornhub.
High speed.
Yeah. Not quite high speed. Like there was still some lag time, but it was like already there was a good hosting website like Pornhub or Xvideos, you know?
And then for me, one day my dad basically caught me.
That's terrible.
He caught me in the act, but I think he left the room and he just kind of let me, he wasn't going to interrupt the moment. But later he came on, like he just approached me at a different date and he was like, when did you find all these things? And I just, I was like so ashamed.
Yeah.
But my dad, he honestly is such a thug.
Yes.
He was like, I'm going to have a conversation with you that your grandfather had with me when I was a young man, which is you can either expel your energy out your body, but if you somehow pull it upwards, it will make you powerful. It'll make your brain powerful. Because, the Indians have sort of been talking about this for a long ass time.
That's ancient shit.
That's ancient shit.
Yeah.
So, like, whatever. People might call it superstition, but especially my dad came from a village in small India. Brahmacharya is the term. That has been around forever. You know? Now, almost like I feel like the word brahmacharya in India is like a little bit of a meme. Like it's a meme for like a virgin. Like, oh, look at Harry. He's a brahmacharya. He doesn't get any women basically.
Yeah.
But the original term of it is like the warriors in what some would call history. Some would call the mythos of ancient India. Whatever it might be. I don't want to offend anyone, but like. There would be brahmacharyas. Like Bhishma Pitama is a character who had sworn off women. And as a result of, like, I'm not going to go into it, but he like swore off women, and he became one of the greatest warriors. Hanuman, Lakshman, in the time where he had to go with his brother into this forest, he was away from his wife during that time, so he was a brahmachari. And in fact, when Sita, do you know anything about the Ramayana? Sita is this lady who's kidnapped by the demon king. Okay, so there's this lady Sita. She's the wife of King Ram. Well, the Prince Ram. And
I think you told me about this. Yeah.
She gets kidnapped by the demon king, Ravan.
Yeah.
And Lakshman is asked when she gets kidnapped, they're like, what does she look like by someone? And he says, I don't even know what she looks like because I would only ever look at her feet because I only worshipped her feet alone because she was the wife of his brother.
Yeah.
So he would never even, just to avoid any lustful gaze on her, he would only look at her feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like a poetic metaphor for how pure he was.
Yeah. But
because of his 14 years of celibacy and purity, he was like one of the most like savage warriors ever. Like Lakshman was such a thug. So this concept of retaining your sexual energy, it had been around in my culture forever. And then even after my dad had that talk with me, I was probably 15 or 16 when he had that talk with me.
Yeah.
And, he like caught me and he had that talk with me. I would see all these signs afterwards. Like I watched Rocky.
Yep.
And in Rocky, one of the things that Stallone gets told by his coach is like women weaken legs.
Yeah.
It's the idea that a fighter should not have sex before a fight.
Yep.
Because it gets rid of the animal within you. Yeah. Mike Tyson was a huge believer in that. He went like 5 years without.
Ali as well.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know that.
I think so.
Yeah. A lot of fighters.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a huge, we'll say superstition. We'll just say it's a huge belief in the fight world.
Yes.
And some people are like, we don't even know if it works or not, but we might as well.
Well, that's the thing. That's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I'm not even like we lack a scientific assurance that it works. But like, I know that for me and you know that for you, it like boosts our like, mojo in some kind of way. And so because of that, it's like, it doesn't matter if it's real or not. It's real for us.
Yeah. But I kind of don't want to practice something if it's just in my head. Like, I'm like, I wish there was a better way to scientifically test it.
Yeah.
But because it's so like energetic, it
is.
Whatever.
Woo.
It's spiritual, not grounded in science necessarily. Yes. I know there's that one study about the Chinese or whatever. They tested a bunch of guys out and after a week their testosterone went up. But it's like one study. I don't really believe
there's also studies that relate masturbation to testosterone.
I feel like there's basically what it's saying here is like there's no good evidence.
No.
There's no good evidence for this shit. And back when I started off my channel, I watched some of those videos and I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, what are you talking about? Like all these benefits. And that's the other thing now it was so underground back in the day.
Yeah.
It was like this thing, like if you actually practiced it and believed in it, people kind of laugh at you.
Yeah.
And now the whole thing is super mainstream.
But I feel like, let's just to harp on that for a second. I feel like that's still almost the case. At least amongst...
It's still underground?
No. Like, it's still like, if women know that you're doing it, it's like still like kind of an embarrassing thing. Like it's still like kind of looked down upon it in a way. Because I think...
well, you know what? With the whole women thing, I think women need you to nut when you're with them, ideally.
Yeah. I think because
otherwise they get worried if you're like, no, because you know, you're like, but how am I supposed to have power over you if you don't nut? The nut is my power. Like,
correct.
I need to know that I can hold sex over you. I
must extract this from you.
Yeah, and if you give any indication, like whatever, if we could, I'm just not gonna bust.
Yeah.
Then they're like, well, this is the one thing I have over you, bro.
Yeah. This is like, my assurances are gone.
I don't know. Maybe that's just what I believe, but I feel like it is a true thing.
I think there's a kernel of truth to that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think that's the whole of where women get their confidence from. And
some of them just like, that's just stupid. Why would you not bust?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like, why would you not enjoy this fully?
Yeah.
But, so I made my first attempt at nofap around the age of 17, because even after my dad told me about that whole thing, I just couldn't get it together. Like I would just go make it like 4 days and then I would just need to jerk off.
As a high schooler, it's brutally hard.
It's so hard. It's much harder as a high schooler.
Yes.
And but I've never admitted this, dude. So my dad had sort of because of my dad kind of recommending some books to me, I came across the book The Practice of Brahmacharya by Swami Sivananda.
Yep.
I really read the shit out of that one. I read a bunch. So even then, having now like being extra motivated, because I was motivated by the fact that they said that when you retain your seed, you get glory, power, fame. Like I was like, oh, actually I wanted to be like the lead in the school plays at the time. It's crazy like what your motivations are in high school, but I wanted to be like the best theater actor.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a popular kid in school.
Yeah. And
my school had 3,500 kids, so it's kind of hard to be popular because my school was huge.
Yes.
It's like a really rich people school full of
bunch of preppy people.
So it's kind of hard to stand out in such a big environment. And I would make it 2 weeks. This was like 16-year-old Nikhil.
That's still pretty 17. Great.
Yeah. And then I would bust. But one day I had a little bit of a streak going, maybe 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And in my film history class, we just saw Some Like It Hot with Marilyn Monroe in it.
Okay.
And I had a dream where I was having sex with Marilyn Monroe. And then I had my first wet dream.
Damn. Yeah.
And, but it was like a heinous, explosive wet dream. And I like got out of bed and I stumbled to the bathroom to like go pee or something.
Yeah.
And then I just fucking fainted in the bathroom.
No.
And I bumped into the wall. And then I went into the blackest place a man could go into, like into this weird abyss where I couldn't hear my own voice. And it was like for probably like 3 seconds. And I came out of that and my ears were ringing and I just straight up I came so hard that I like collapsed. And so, that freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah. That would freak me out too.
So then after that, I was like, oh, I got to get my shit together because if I bust, it's going to kill me.
Oh, God. I'm glad people are getting good, like, scientific reasons to not bust from you. Oh, man.
So then I made it 6 months.
After that? Yeah.
Okay, and in those 6 months...
Yeah.
My skin started to look so fucking cool.
Yeah.
My stubble started coming in. Look, a lot of this is probably just coincidence. Like my stubble.
You were just going through
I'm a hairy. Yeah, I'm just like, my jawline was sharp as fuck.
Yeah.
Like I became such a handsome 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was just so sharp. Like I was motivated all of a sudden to do all of these things, like get my fashion on point. Like I was like just really well dressed.
Yeah.
I would actually still be in the gym, kind of like doing like squats, like with kettlebell squats and stuff. I wasn't quite lifting back then.
Yeah.
But I was constantly in the gym because I was like just honestly like especially for a high schooler, porn and masturbation is like a big part of what you do because you're always you come home from school and it was almost like a ritual. Come home from school, jerk off.
Yeah.
Because it's like...
I mean, as a high schooler, like, there's a point where you're, like, doing that just 3 times a day minimum. Like,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like...
But I was just not doing that. And then I was so... I wasn't just horny. I was just in love. I was in love with the women because my brain was starting to become so much more pure. I knew at that point, I realized if I'm going to get a long streak, I'm going to have to start meditating all the time because the only way to get a streak going is to meditate. So I'd be meditating all the time. And those were the most magical 6 months, 7 months of my life where I was just, everything I set out to do, I achieved. I mean, it's just high school, right? But look, my grades were amazing. Girls, I would hear this all the time. Girls would be talking about me. Granted, I was already by then like a 6 foot tall, like
good looking guy,
good looking kid.
Yeah.
But like, and also I was honestly the stubble game was like a mysterious
separated,
centaur. Yeah. They're like, the girls in choir would talk about how Nikhil has like a shadow on his face. And that was like I'm like, thank you God for making me Indian, dude. Like the stubble came in early.
Yeah. I am jealous. My facial hair is garbage.
Yeah. You've got other things. You got the man bun at least.
That's like compensatory.
It is. It's its own pull. But, just for me in a sense of being on point. And I knew I was just like this attractive force. Even if we were to say there's no benefits to Nofap itself, having the discipline at that age to not watch porn, not jerk off. Yeah. It just forced me to put my energy in all those things. I realized I got a driver's license just because I was horny because I'd been putting off getting the driver's. I was scared of driving a car.
Yeah.
But like I was so horny one day and I wanted to like, I don't know, make it happen one day.
Yeah.
That I was like, I'm going to get a driver's license. And I signed up for like these little things I started to take this extra initiative at that age.
Yes.
Straight up because of the Nofap streak.
Yeah.
And then, at some point I broke, I made it 6 months and then something happened to fuck it up.
Yeah.
But I will never forget how I felt those 6 months because I just felt awesome all the time just because of who I had to become to make that happen.
Yes.
So fast forward, I've messed around with it a little bit in college, but I really never got back to that high school 17-year-old Nikhil version of me.
Yes.
And then in LA, once I finally moved to LA, those were like my degenerate years for a few years. Even though I still wanted to try and be good.
Yeah.
I was drinking a lot because the school I worked at, there was a huge drinking culture. We were right in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And right next to us was this bar that people would always go to.
Yeah.
So if you're drinking all the time, it's kind of hard not to masturbate.
It's hard to keep that discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to keep any level of consistency when you're drinking a lot.
Yes.
In all aspects of life. So I was drinking a lot and I was working a lot too. So I didn't really, I don't know. My mental health was not good for those years.
Yeah.
But as I was leaving that job, or getting towards the end of those 2 years, I was auditioning for Aladdin at the time. I had like a couple of screen tests for this movie, the like live action Aladdin.
Yep.
So in anticipation for that movie coming out, because Guy Ritchie was the director of that, I watched King Arthur, Legend of the Sword in theaters by myself.
Yeah.
To me, that whole thing just became a huge metaphor for Nofap. Like he pulls Excalibur out of the thing. Excalibur is this superpower he has when he's put both hands on the sword. He unlocks Excalibur's sword, where he's just fast and he's cutting down the Blacklegs, which is like the knights of the evil King Vortigern. Dude, I have like so much King Arthur paraphernalia in my house now.
Yeah, I know. I've seen it all.
So then that inspired me, and I knew Aladdin's auditions were coming up. I made it 3 weeks then. And even in those 3 weeks, just because honestly that movie motivated me to get back on Nofap. I was just like way more social. Like, you're not watching porn, you're not jerking off. You just got more energy to get out and about. Like, what else are you going to do?
Yeah.
And my happiness went through the roof, and my sense of potency in life went through the roof. And so that ended too. And then the last stretch, which is when my YouTube channel started, is when I started it at 25. And it seemed like I had always been trying things out in my life to try to move the needle.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, the things I would try when I was 25, they actually were like the right thing. The shit started to work.
Yeah.
Like I started studying marketing automation. I started like doing all this theater. I saved up $1,000 to make my own actor's demo reel.
Yep.
Like all that stuff led to something. It's like the moves I kept making at 25. It was all great.
Yeah. I think for both of us, there are situations where like we attempted to find our calling many times in many different ways. And I think that's kind of how it tends to go, is like you fail, and then find it. Some people get lucky and find it earlier, but I think I kind of had a similar thing where when I would be on like my streaks, that's when I feel like I'd be more correct in like the guessing or attempting to find the thing. I feel like I'd, like you kind of mentioned, like be luckier almost. This
last stretch of time after my channel really started taking off, so I'd say like the past 2 years, when I met you, the channel was making like $2,000 a month. Then it like kept ramping up. I was not on Nofap, and the success kept going up anyway.
Yeah.
So I went through this phase of my life where I just thought, okay, maybe all the stuff I believed as a younger man just isn't there.
Silly.
Yeah, it's maybe it was just childish, like
superstition.
Yeah. And I'm not a superstitious guy anymore.
No, I'm about the science.
Yeah, and also like the NoFap community, a lot of the OG followers, they were frustrating me. I was like, guys, stop asking me about my fucking streak.
Yeah.
Here's an idea, kill yourself. You know?
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up.
And I would also be constantly confronted with this idea of like, I would see like guys like, no offense, Gold Jacket Luke, and I'd be like, damn, his life, I'm not so jealous of it.
No, dude. Honestly, it's like a lot of those guys, I'm like, oh, so you have an 800-day streak? 800 days.
Yeah.
Why do you still suck at life?
Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, why? Never take advice from a guy whose life you don't want yours to resemble, you know? And so I'd be like, damn, none of like, and it's like you will have like guys like Brandon Carter who hilariously,
I know, he's that NoFap video of his, which if you guys haven't seen it, it's worth watching just for the comedic.
Yes, he's so funny.
He talks about how he, like, if you want to be successful, you should jerk off.
Yes.
He's like, because I have too much goddamn sexual energy, you know? Like, he's like, I jerk off. So he's like, every minute that goes by without me jerking off, I get stupider. So I have to do it.
Yeah.
And he's even like cool with watching porn. He's just like, don't watch the crazy shit. It's is what his whole thing is. That is true. And I kind of started thinking that way a little bit, where I was like, oh yeah, it was probably just fake. I kind of regret talking for so long about this stuff. It's probably not real.
Yeah.
2022, right? This year, I started the year off with a 28-day streak.
Yes.
Broke it just because I hadn't meditated for a couple days.
Yeah.
Now I'm back up to a 14-day streak. So a good amount of the time this year has been spent no fapped up.
Not fapped up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just different, man.
It's different.
I got to say those 6 days where I was not on it or whatever it is.
Yep.
I felt a little duller. I just feel a little more like, hey man, we're getting a shot, right? I'm like, okay, let me just put that extra minute of effort in to make the frame just a little better.
Yeah.
The composition a little nicer.
Yes.
When we were setting up this podcast episode, I was like, I'm like, I want to get the lighting on your face looking good. You know? I don't know if I am quite as motivated when I'm not on it. I just feel amazing. I can
tell, like, I think you have a special thing where you tie it very heavily to like, you're almost like your self-confidence. So when you break a streak, I can like tell the next day because you're like, you're pissed off and you feel like, I think a lot of it is real, but I think some of it is almost tied to your attachment to it.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably true. If I could just get myself to get over it right away, or like, but then, you know,
because I think, well, I will say, like, one problem I do find with the NoFap community is like, and I know you addressed this earlier, is the way people tear themselves down when they relapse. And I don't think that's healthy. You know, I think you should just know that, like, yeah, if you're struggling, this is like a hard thing. And, you know, you can bounce right back though. It's not like when you break a streak, it's not starting from zero. It's not over, you know, it's just like, get back on the horse, figure it out. Right. But I will say I got through Nofap November this recent November. And, man, it was like 31 days. It was not easy, especially those first 2 weeks are brutal. And, I mean, I feel like that was the month where I like got the big raise. And, that was the month I started working for this lady doing like real estate gigs. A lot of my life was very dialed in that month. And I just remember like making decisions where I was like, damn, I almost feel like I'm kind of very interested in this girl, but I don't think it's going to work out. Let me pull away from this completely. I was making like very almost like healthy decisions for Thomas, not based on temptation. You know, I was like in a very almost like, what will be best for me long term? That was like my mindset then. And I feel like I do get in that way when I'm like deep in the streak. There's obviously those like almost surface level benefits where you feel like people are looking at you and you're more attractive.
Dude, I want to get into that a little bit too, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you had a very lucky month in a couple ways.
Yes.
But you're also putting in the work.
Yeah. I just felt like I was pulling away from things that were not conducive to my like overall success or overall happiness. Like anything that was like not super necessary, I was like, let me slowly start to pull my chips out of this. And even with that Nofap rage, like let me actually just grab my chips completely and throw them across the room because I don't want them here at all.
I just conflate being horny with just being excited for life.
I think that's like a thing where it's like the same raw energy just directed in different ways.
And if I'm in control of it,
yeah,
it just feels exhilarating.
I think like creative output is like a similar thing. When I first started making videos, I had such a superstition where like if I busted the day before, I wouldn't even try to record the next day because I'd be like, damn, it's just not there. I can feel it. It's gone.
You got to be, yeah. It's like you got to be excited.
Yes.
Which is tough because the majority of the world and the majority of people in their life's work are not excited.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of excited these days, and it just bleeds through.
Yep, totally.
You just feel cooler, like.
And yeah, I feel like your channel right now is seeing a sort of like revitalization in new directions and like awakening of old energies.
Yeah.
And like this is also the time where you've been like getting very diligently back on your streaks. So like,
yeah,
you know, it's hard to see things line up on Nofap and not get superstitious.
It's hard not to get. It's like in Moneyball.
Yeah,
it's hard not to get romantic about this shit.
Yes.
That's what he says about baseball. But that's how what I feel. It's like, how do you not get romantic about this? Because it's
how
like
do you not?
It lines up.
Yeah,
this stuff just like even my A rolls, the normal Captain Sinbad videos, which are not this podcast, which is like the majority of videos.
Yes.
Now we're kind of moving into half and half, where it's like one podcast a week, one CS regular video a week.
Yep,
something like that. I'm like, I like my normal videos now too a little more, just because I feel like the words I'm saying feel more honest.
Yeah.
They feel more correct.
Yep.
And it's like I'm more tapped into an authentic version of me. I also just have a greater belief in myself.
Yeah.
That like we'll be doing some exciting things in 2022.
Yes. I agree.
I don't even fully know what it looks like. Like one of the things I'm working on is a screenplay. It's about 30% written, but we should be done with it before the end of March.
Yeah.
Writing the screenplay about my dad's the story of trying to get into IIT Kanpur with a very Guy Ritchie-esque directing style on it. I'm pumped on it, honestly. I don't know how the fuck we're going to get it made.
Yeah.
But I bet we'll find the money, honestly. Like, I feel like we can do it.
Yeah.
Dude, a lot of things. I feel like this could be the year. I've been trying to get a Hollywood agent for
long time.
8 years now.
Yeah.
I feel like I could get it this year and I'd not even feel like a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like I'm
a lot of things are, you know, they just come together, you know?
Yeah.
And I do think a lot of that is like work put in over like the course of many years. But
each
like
individual
you said,
moment
it's hard not to get superstitious.
You know, desire for a woman also is a very fun feeling, especially if you're trying to, if you're still trying to win her over or something.
Yes.
And one thing that would happen is like I'm talking about my whole life now, like 10 years of trying to attract women and stuff.
Yes.
That desire of like, okay, I'm going to, you know, it's weird, but I would do things like, okay, I'm going to get fitter so then she'll notice, you know, stuff like that. You just can't help but go through that. If you're really dialed in on a girl you like a crush you have and you're trying to like win her.
Yep.
And then the day you bust, you kind of like desire her less that day.
Totally.
And that's depressing because I like desiring.
Same here. Yeah. I feel like I get in a state where if I'm trying to attract a woman, it's like even in that more like magnetic energy thing, I'm like, damn, I've just turned off my own magnetic field. Like she's not even going to feel me. Like she's not going to be attracted to me as much as she would be. Like I'm just screwing my whole thing up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, first of all, there's that, this is a big superstition. Is like, is there a magnetic field around me when I'm on Nofap? I will fucking say, dude, I've had 28 days and now 14 days. Today marks day 14 for me.
Nice. I'm on day 1. Epic. Not by my own hand, though.
No,
so that's
Thomas,
where I'm being like, okay.
Thomas has been having a lot of sex lately.
I haven't jerked off in like a couple months.
Yeah. Not by thy own hand.
No. So I haven't committed that level of sin. So I'm not, at least not fapping, which is like, to me, some kind of victory. I feel like
you have romance in your life these days. But, okay, what I was trying to say is like, with these streaks, I've had some weird people reach out to me, man.
Oh, yeah?
I get the fucking force field. People are dude, Joshua Fluke, do you know?
Yeah.
So he makes all these corporate cringe videos and stuff.
Yep.
He's like an internet friend of mine. I like him. Mm-hmm. Like, we're just like, we back in the day, we're acquaintances. We would chat it up once in a while.
Nice.
Yesterday, he just, like, I had, back in August, I was like, dude, we should catch up sometime. And he kind of just like was busy. He was like, oh yeah, I'll talk tomorrow. And then the next day he wasn't free.
Yeah.
And he just reached out. He's like, oh, dude, I'm so sorry. Like, oh, I would love to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that's a really small thing.
Yes.
Dude, how do you not get romantic about it? You know,
how do you not get romantic? I remember there's a day where you and I were at the saunas.
Yeah.
And I was in the sauna and this chick walked in.
Dude, I've never seen someone want to fuck you so bad.
It was like so mind-blowing because she just gave me this hard look.
I was sitting there.
Yeah. Just no subtlety at all. And I was like,
she was married, dude.
Yeah, I know. I was just like, what is that? I was like, is this because my body looks nice? But like, again, hard not to get romantic about it. I was like, yeah, it's the Nofap.
The first time in LA after watching King Arthur, I had an audition for a Wells Fargo bank commercial audition or something.
Yeah.
And I was probably like 3 weeks in on Nofap, just fucking like already like feeling sharp, haircut tight, like I was just more on top of my stuff.
Yes.
And this gorgeous girl followed, like she was just in line behind me, so they put her on the bench next to me.
Yep.
And I was walking into my audition and she just followed me into the she just followed in with me.
Yeah.
This whole time, anyone can see that it's like one at a time. Like you're auditioning, right? You go in one at a time.
Yeah.
She just walked in with me. And then the producers and the casting directors like, hey, it's just one at a time.
Yeah,
and she's like, oh, sorry, I thought it was both of us.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay, that was no fun.
That was no fun.
Oh, it's because my fucking force field is real good.
Well, God, I guess the science has been settled, guys.
Guys, don't blame her. It's just that I've got this
nice.
Yeah. My dick is full of
I hope not your dick. I would hope it'd be in your balls.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that how it works?
I believe so.
No!
I think along with the pee in there, that's where they keep it.
Yeah.
This is a science podcast.
Welcome back to
Lex
Andrew
Friedman. Lex Friedman and Andrew Huberman have a conversation about Nofap.
Guys, why would you ever listen to their podcast when you could listen to ours?
Listen to this.
Way better.
Like we've been to Harvard.
We've read books.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of moments like that where the women attraction for me also has been higher. Like,
dude, I feel like even at the grocery store, like the grocery store lady like never speaks to me, and then like the day I have like a 2-week streak, she's like chatting me up like no tomorrow, and I'm like, well, it's got to be this.
I mean, at some points you're like,
just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
if it's not.
even the other way it goes, like people are extra rude to me when I've been busting a lot.
Yeah,
you know? Like,
yeah.
It's kind of how I feel.
I think it's like the energy you put out is the energy you receive, and I think if you're doing these lower vibrational things, you know, like busting all the time, then I think you put it out and you receive it. You know, it's like just comes right back to you. But I can't deny that like extra sense of feeling lucky, feeling on top of your shit when you are on a long streak.
If I had to ask you, what has been your most no-fappy experience ever? Like the experience where it's like, oh, this feels like insane. What would it be? Or if you have a few of them, you can share as well.
Yeah. Here, I might need a second to think about this.
Yes. I'm going to think of mine too then.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I got one right off the bat.
You go first.
There was a girl in college
who
I took digital foundations. It was like a film production class. It was the best class I ever took in my life. But there was a girl in there who I just like could not take my eyes off of. I was just like, I'd be like so into her just visually, you know? And I never even interacted with her a single fucking time.
Yep.
But somehow because like we were all still using Facebook back then.
Uh-huh.
And like because I'd added a bunch of Facebook friends, she was like suggested maybe as another friend to add. So I added her as a Facebook friend. She accepted. So we were Facebook friends, but we had literally never interacted. Yeah. You might have some people on your IG or someone like, oh, I follow you, but we've never interacted.
Yes.
So, and I was probably like 2 or 3 months into my streak. Like I'd revitalized my love for it at age 25. So this is now like 3 years out of college.
Yeah.
And she just messaged me on Facebook saying like, hey, I realize we're both in Minneapolis. We should go grab a coffee.
Yeah.
And this was years. I mean, I just explained that to me. This girl that I was really into, never, ever, ever interacted with her. Like no words were even exchanged.
Nothing.
And I don't know. I don't even know. I hadn't even put up like a Facebook post or anything like that. She just reached out to me.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. It's like, how do you not get romantic about Nofap?
Yeah. I totally feel ya.
Yeah. That was probably one of the most, experiences like that.
Yeah.
It honestly just feels good to feel like you're a powerful, good person.
Yes.
Like you're in line with some level of your values. Like one of my values throughout my life, probably my chief one, had been spiritual strength is what I labeled it.
Yeah.
Which is that fact that, dude, I'm a fucking Pisces, like we're always lost in the clouds.
Yes.
Even the fact that I just said that last statement
is
kind of
a very Pisces thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like feeling strong, in terms of my values and character. I like feeling like I'm doing things that are uncommon.
Yeah.
And like watching porn, masturbating, being obsessed with sex at a base level,
yes,
is very common. It's the easiest fucking thing there is.
Yeah.
It's the number one thing. It's the number one thing companies do to sell products.
It puts you in the pool with everybody else.
Yeah. You're just in the fucking mud. The reason anyone goes out to drink at the club ever is like, listen, it's all about trying to get laid.
It's all about trying to get laid.
And in like a very like cheap way. You're just kind of like a slave to your body.
Yes.
Because if you were just trying to do what your like
purpose was,
you
would not find
not that I say like I think sex is fucking lit.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
But man, I'm not gonna try to say I'm gonna try to make the whole year being on Nofap, but I'm gonna try to like my tonnage. Now that I'm re-promoting the app, I'm trying to make that tonnage really high.
Yeah.
So I'm aiming for approximately 4 90-day streaks this year, which is like, that means I'm spending most of the year not busting.
Yeah.
A couple of nuts a year.
Yeah.
I think is my new.
It's not bad. It's I think that's solid.
Yeah. And that with the sobriety and all that stuff, I think it's just going to be fun. I want to go back to that way I felt when I was like 17.
Yeah.
Just like on point all the time, and just feeling sexy, like I'm charged up, I'm all pent up, and everything's cool.
I think that's good. I think what I would like for myself is like, I feel like peak benefits around like between like the 2 week and 1 month mark.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that's when things really start to cook. But so if I could I don't mind like having sex in between, and then but if I could just get between 2 week and a month streaks just consecutively,
just keep showing up. No, I feel like the most amount of Nofap rage is at 1 week, like Same. 9 days or something.
Yeah, I think like between 6 and 10 days you're just like, whoa, God, get away from me.
Who wants to fucking die?
Yes. If I could just tap into that energy as often as possible, because I do feel like this is a controversial statement within the Nofap community, but I feel like there's an element of like use it or lose it. And I think you sort of start to lose a little bit of potency after like 3 weeks, a month-ish. Sure. That's my personal belief.
No, I mean, respect.
But, so I like the idea of like recycling the amount of cum in your body. Yeah. So, yeah.
Once again, this is the Andrew. Way better than
this is about science. I'm a scientist.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that, because every time I have a reset, well, first of all, I get sad when there's a reset, but coming back to 2 weeks, it's like you remember how angry you are at 2 weeks. So if I could consistently feel, because at 60 days, you don't feel it as much. You're kind of used to it by that point.
Yeah, exactly.
But I kind of assume that those benefits are always there all along. It's just that it's become such a baseline.
Yeah.
At that point.
But
for me, I think every 90 days or so, like that would 90 days would be
90 days is hardcore.
It's a really long streak.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind one of those this year. I'll say that.
Yeah.
One good 90 dayer. Yeah.
But I mean, the main message here is that we both do strongly
Believe in it. Yeah.
And believe in the potency that is your sexual energy.
Totally. 100%. I think it's so, for me, like it gets very tied to like my creative self-confidence.
Dude, some pretty unusual people practice this.
Yeah.
Eric Andre.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Legend.
So this is in a Reddit post, so maybe my like credibility is not super high in saying this.
Yeah.
But some guy on Reddit said that he met Eric Andre and he asked him for advice. He's like, I want to be a comic too. And Eric Andre said, the day I decided I'm not going to jerk off anymore is the day things started moving in my life.
Yes.
I was like, oh, that's kind of a sweet thing to say.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I think if I could make the whole year without jerking off myself, that to me is like a huge W.
Oh, that's a kind of that's actually like maybe 95% of it. Like,
yeah. Because I think there's like, there's Nofap and then there's Nofap hard mode.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if I get a hard mode 90-day streak, great, like no busting period. But just not jerking off at all, I feel like even that is just so beneficial.
Yeah, well, in your kind of example of like the use it or lose it thing.
Yeah.
Like I have had sex on it and then just not busted. Like I do that.
I don't know how you do that. That sounds fake.
What you do is you just fucking go slow and you just make sure the woman is not satisfied. You just stop often.
Well, you see, I've the second part I seem to have perfected, but I even going slow, I'm like ready to deposit the goods.
Well, you're a younger man than me. I feel like your body is more extra.
You see, once my penis starts to fail me is the point.
Yeah.
Well, good. I'm glad it gets better with age.
What do you got to do to maximize the potency of your sexual energy? Let's make a list, because this is how we fucking end these things.
Yes.
We always end with like
a list.
Freaking life advice list.
Hacks.
Life hacks.
Yeah. I'd say meditation, big one.
That is
maybe the biggest one.
Meditation is the biggest one. I will say the number one thing. Okay, are you like me? Do you get the horniest the first thing in the morning?
Totally.
I feel like I wake up hard every
single day.
Yeah, I wake up needing to fuck something.
Yeah.
So, this is really hard to do. I don't do it most mornings, but the mornings I do, I end up taking way more action that day. Take a cold shower first thing in the morning, especially when your dick's still.
Yes, which for me, I don't know about you, it's every single morning without fail.
I feel like you just have a very high functioning dick.
It's horrible. It's not fun. But taking a cold shower, I mean, it just takes it right away.
It just, I made this like No Nut November song and I said, scrunch that shit up.
Yes.
I feel like you take the cold shower first thing in the morning when you're max horniness and it just pushes that energy up into your brain. Once again,
science.
This is science. Andrew Huberman has backed
Becoming the Scientist Podcast. This is what it's called.
This is all scientifically backed.
Yes. Andrew Huberman. Citation. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's very true.
That's why actually I really have enjoyed like I've been doing a lot of this cold baths, cold immersion stuff, ice baths thing.
Yes.
And that's an extra level of just like you push it upwards. It's like you don't even have to meditate, because sometimes meditate you have to like motivate yourself to do it.
Yes.
Well, I guess you have to motivate yourself to take a cold shower, but it's faster.
It's faster.
Yeah. I'm actually like gonna get myself to do that more often, because it's, especially in the winter, it's like you definitely feel.
Yeah.
We just end up shooting more shit that day when I'm like that. You know? So I like that feeling. Yeah. Cold showers, meditation, of course, that's like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I don't do this enough, but pranayama, or even the Wim Hof method, which I don't do. I'd only done it like a couple times.
I had a good streak where I was really hardcore on the Wim Hof stuff.
But that breath work, that also is just like moving the stuff up and down your spine.
Yes.
That is a great way of transmuting your energy.
Yeah.
I feel like
think going to that's what I was going to say. Exercise. Elliot Hulse had kind of, when I was first struggling with Nofap a lot, Elliot Hulse had made a video where he was like, he was doing a Yo Elliot where a guy asked about like, I want to masturbate all the time. I can't stop, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, dude, whenever you feel like masturbating, just literally sprint to the gym. Like run out of your apartment and go to the gym.
He used to be so fucking awesome.
He's so great. And I'm so sad at the fall down.
Yeah, he fell off.
Yeah, so hard. I was such a super fan. And just it literally just informed my whole thing. I'd be like sad if I wanted to jerk off and I'd already worked out that day. Cause it was just like, God, it's just like that is like a direct, like you want to put your energy into you're peeing.
Dude, I want to fuck a barbell.
Yeah, exactly. You just put your energy into the iron instead.
Dude, working out horny is fucking awesome.
It's great. You feel like more powerful. I mean, I feel like everything's just heightened.
Dude, yesterday I got 365 on the deadlift. Yeah. Pretty nice PR for me.
Yes.
I actually failed it in the dungeon area of the gym. And then
a hot woman.
I forced myself, like I noticed this really good looking girl at the gym and I just like went to the barbell next to her. And I was like, oh, I can't fail this in front of her.
Yes.
And also I was, whatever. I was at 13 days of Nofap at the time.
Yes.
I just pulled that shit up. Like it was being charged
motivation.
Up. You can definitely move more iron.
Totally.
It's really fun.
Yeah. I think it's very true.
Dude, you know what else I think is actually really transmutative?
Yes.
Is like fantasizing about creative projects while listening to music. For me, music is a huge trigger.
Visualization, essentially.
Visualization.
Yeah.
Music is a huge trigger for creative ideas for the next video for me.
Same here.
And I will say, I think I enjoy music just a little more when I'm on Nofap.
Okay.
Dude, this is just me talking now.
Yeah, I might actually like, I go actually both ways. I enjoy music all the time.
Yeah, well, I think you just really enjoy music.
Yeah.
Whereas I sometimes, I think I care less than you.
Yeah.
But I can like see images to that really well.
Yes.
And I find it to be a really nice thing. I think there's a lot of great transmutative practices.
I think the creativity aspect is like, that's where I will almost go like number one benefit of Nofap.
Yeah.
Is that just ideas plentiful. Like, you live in this like abundant state of creativity. It's pretty awesome.
It is. It's massaging that energy in a way where it doesn't distract you and you can still use it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I've tried writing when I'm horny.
Yeah.
And it's like almost doesn't work because I'm too distracted.
Yes.
But if you can get yourself past, maybe you do some of this other stuff. Like I think it's good to address the physical side first.
If you're too sexually frustrated, you can't get anything done.
Yeah.
And that's almost like a barrier of Nofap. You're like, is this working? All I'm doing is thinking about sex. But then if you can address it with meditation or going to the gym, I think getting that physical energy out of your body, like with the gym, is one of the most effective ways. Then you can hit the Zen state where it's just the creative ideas that are flowing.
It feels so sick.
Yeah.
It's like there's two types of work we do. One is physical. Mm-hmm. Luckily, the cool thing about our job is that filming in the field is still creative, but it's a lot. I mean, filming is a physical endeavor.
Very much so.
And so with Nofap, sometimes you're stuck on the physical plane. It's like, okay, all I'm actually capable of right now is physical shit.
Yes.
Like not even meditation, like working out, shooting in the field.
Yeah.
Or like just doing stuff out and about, even like taking care of errands.
Very much, yeah.
If you can somehow get yourself past that where you spend up some of the energy so you have room now for the mental side.
Yep.
That's when we can do some of this other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, even shooting a podcast episode is still physical because we're like setting up the shot and we're still like talking and trying to be...
It's very active.
Yeah. We're trying to be like entertaining for the viewer.
Highly focused. Yeah, listening.
But then when you get into that, like you're doing the edit or like especially the fine
more
edit.
flowy shit.
Yeah, flowy shit.
Yeah.
That's when you want to make sure you're not overly charged up in surplus, otherwise you'll be distracted.
Yes.
So it's good to do as much of the physical shit as possible, kind of get your body exhausted.
Yes.
And then go to the mental stuff.
Yeah.
And then you just keep riding the wave. It's like being a surfer. It's like you have to constantly manage the energy because it can be overwhelming.
Yes. You kind of just have to like clear the dam, like, make sure you're not overflowing before you kind of do a sit down activity. Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this phase of my life where I have a new revitalized love for it.
Nice.
I mean, I've pretty much brought it up every podcast episode.
Yes. Well, you also just bring it up every day. So
yeah. Do I? Yeah, pretty often.
Do you talk about Nofap? I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I totally agree. I think it's something that before I met you, I was already into, and then it was like an immediate thing.
Dude, you found me probably through a Nofap video.
I did.
Right?
Yeah, I think I did. I don't remember where I came across you, but it was like definitely the Nofap stuff where I was like, oh, I connect with this guy.
When people find me in real life who've been watching the channel, it's
always Nofap.
It's either the Jordan Peterson sketch, or a Nofap video.
Yes.
Like that's how people know me,
Yeah.
So
I just remember being with one guy, and you were like, "How did you find me?" And he was like, "Yo, man, the celibacy videos."
Oh yeah, that guy was fucking cool.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah. So,
dude,
it just creates a connection between men, and like that's where I kind of hit a roadblock when you try to explain it to women and they don't understand. But if you find a guy into NoFap, you're already on the same page a little, you know?
Yeah,
you're just like, oh,
true.
This guy kind of believes in magic too.
Look, we don't need to explain this shit to women anyway.
No,
like,
no. Well, I mean, we're backed by Andrew Huberman. I don't care.
Lex Friedman is a big believer in NoFap. Dude, okay, there's no scientific evidence. We know it all sounds kind of hippy whippy dippy.
Yeah, but try it for yourself.
I think it just works. Okay, I think if you don't bust for a month,
good things.
And honestly, you meditate, and honestly, just don't be a piece of shit. Do something with your life. Get some shit done out here.
Yeah.
You'll find you're just going to be more on point. You're going to be more. You're going to look sexier.
Yep.
You're going to find yourself.
You'll be more dialed in.
Even Napoleon Hill, who I know a lot of people have said he's like a hoax.
Discredited, yeah.
He said that a person who's highly sexed, he's more interested in making his appearance good. A lot of people who are highly sexed are interested in making themselves look good. And dude, I got to say, now that my streaks are good, I like take more pride in my appearance. Like I'm more on point with this shit.
Yeah.
I've got a skincare routine now.
Nice.
The haircuts are frequent.
Yes.
The stuff just works. We don't want to like make this episode too long.
Yeah.
But your sexual energy is the same as your creative energy. It's just this raw power. Sometimes it's hard to manage.
Yes.
But it's when you can use it well, when it's in your control, it is fun to use. And I think, dare I say, you can use it to make your dreams come true.
I think it is an element that will make your dreams come true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't be one of those guys who only makes this their goal.
Yeah. It's like, what are you using NoFap for? If you're on day 1000 and you've accomplished nothing, you fucked up somewhere.
You fucked up somewhere.
Yeah.
Don't let it be the only ambition of your life.
It's an element. That's why it's an element of success.
But use it as like an extra battery pack to get shit done.
Yes.
That's it for this episode. Becoming the Killer Podcast, episode 3. We're coming at you every week with these, okay? So I'm having a lot of fun. Hopefully there was some value given in this one.
Yes.
Let us know in the comments below what you want us to discuss next time. We are trying to reach out to a few guests. One of the important elements of the podcast for me is that if we do interviews, I don't want to do it over Zoom. Everything has to be in person.
Get that real life connection.
It just feels different.
It does.
So if we can't get the right guest in person, which I would fly out for the right person.
Yep.
But we'll just keep it you and me for now.
Yeah.
Until we get some of those going. But we have talked to like a professional MMA fighter who might come on the podcast. I've really reached out to some relationship experts, including some female guests. We could get some of their perspective on some of these more red pilly topics that we're trying to dive into.
Yes. And Andrew Huberman, if you're watching.
Hey, Andrew.
We'd love to have you, buddy. If you're a NoFap supporter, that is.
Only if you support NoFap, you fucking dick.
Lex Friedman.
Lex Friedman, honestly, they're like the sexiest scientists alive, the two of them.
Andrew, I would say peak sexy.
He is so good looking.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's the NoFap talking, guys. That's it.
All right, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Yeah.
Greatness is coming.